This is Dante Williams, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, I find it pretty ironic that it was only a couple days ago that there was a report that Edeslani Lara is looking sensational in training, all the way from his basic training to his sparring, right? And then just a couple days later, there's a report that comes out that suggests it's quite the contrary when it comes to Canelo Alvarez's training. There was a trainer in Canelo's camp for a couple of days that obviously wants to remain anonymous. And if what he's saying about Canelo Alvarez and his training methods in his camp is actually true, then there's going to be a whole lot of broken-hearted Canelo fans. Now, this trainer is saying that Canelo's training camp is being run in a disorganized manner, with Canelo calling the shots and not training the way he should be for his July 12th fight against the WBA junior middleweight champion Edeslani Lara. Now, this is crazy if this is true, but the word is Canelo Alvarez is weighing 168 pounds right now, while Edeslani Lara, he's only weighing a couple pounds over the weight limit, which is supposed to be 155. Now, before I give my full assessment on the matter, let me go ahead and tell you guys exactly what the Canelo Camp insider said about Canelo Alvarez's training. Now, this anonymous coach, he said he was shocked at the way the gym was ran, with Alvarez's own trainers, Jose and Eddie Reynoso, allegedly fearful of even approaching Canelo Alvarez. Quote, "It's like Alvarez isn't even in full training right now. He's picking and choosing when to train. He's sending sparring partners home. You can't even approach him. He's like a 16-year-old child, not a 23-year-old man." End quote. Not entirely what a Canelo Alvarez fan wants to hear, right? Now, if you think about it, this whole Canelo training situation is very reminiscent of the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. situation when he was training with Freddie Roach. And even beyond that, you guys remember, he was making up his own weight divisions. He never could make weight. He was doing the same thing Canelo is doing. He chose when to train. He chose when not to train. And we seen how that played out for Chavez. Now Chavez is just looked at as a glorified joke of a fighter. Don't get me wrong. He can still have a decent career, but he's not looked at very serious in the sport of boxing. No one is looking at Chavez as being pound for pound, top 5, one of the best fighters in the world, right? But people do have high expectations of Canelo Alvarez being that big future pound for pound star. But if he's doing the same type of shit that Chavez is doing, how is that possible? Now, it is very possible. He can go in there and destroy Edeslani Lara. It's very possible. But when you get reports like this, and you're talking about people that are in his camp and could very well be rooting for Canelo Alvarez, but they're forced to be honest and tell the truth because they seen something in that training camp that they didn't like, that's not a good look. That's not a good look. Then you have Canelo, who just recently said in an interview that he's staying at 154. He feels comfortable at 154 and will probably stay at 154 for the rest of his career. I just have one question. Who the hell does Canelo think he's talking to? He think he's talking to some damn fools? You can't even make 154 right now. You got to come in at 155, and you telling the media and the public that you're comfortable at the division? Oh, the only reason I didn't make weight is because that I'm doing this for honor and pride. So making weight is not that important when you're fighting for honor and pride. Does that make any sense? How many fighters do you see just purposely not making weight, because they're doing it for honor or pride? I'm telling you, man, Canelo better get his shit together, because right now, shit ain't looking good for Canelo. You know, and another thing I wanted to bring up, and I don't really know how much I could read into this, but when I was watching All Access, one thing I noticed is when they showed the little small clips of Canelo sparring, they didn't really have any highlights of Canelo like beating up his sparring partners. Usually, even when they show you a clip, they'll show a clip of the main fighter, the main attraction, actually doing good in sparring, even if it's just a quick glimpse. But the little highlights that they showed was basically the sparring partner damn near getting the best of Canelo Alvarez, even though it was just a quick little glimpse. But that's just weird to me, especially when you hear reports that Canelo Alvarez is sending home his sparring partners, because he's not sending them home because he's beating the shit out of them. He's sending them home for other reasons. If he was sending them home because he was beating the shit out of them, then we would be hearing reports like, man, Canelo is really beating the hell out of his sparring partners, looking good in training. But those are not the reports we're getting, right? That's weird to me. Maybe it means something, maybe it doesn't. Now, I don't recall them even showing any clips of Edeslani Lara. But like I told you guys before, the reports are he's been doing pretty damn good in sparring. So, we're going to see. We're going to see. But, yeah, this is not a good report for Canelo Alvarez being this close to the fight. 168 pounds, training when you want to train, not coming in at the actual weight. When you claim that you're going to stay at this weight division for a very long time, it just doesn't make sense. But once again, this makes the fight even that much more interesting. All right, so that's pretty much all I got, guys. I'm on to the next one.